Good morning, Shartia.
Good morning, Aditi. Futures are lower ahead of the opening bell. That could be partly due to disappointing earnings last night from Cisco Systems, the largest provider of networking equipment like routers and switches. It's being pressured by tough competition. It was a mixed day on Wall Street Wednesday. Stocks traded lower most of the day as Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke told Congress the economy is improving, but unemployment will remain high for several years. Asian markets fell overnight and Europe continues that trend. We get data this morning on new filings for unemployment and wholesale trade. Pepsi reports earnings before the bell. The Dow eking out a 6-point gain yesterday to 12,239. The Nasdaq slipping about 8 to 2789. iPhone fanatics will be lining up in droves today as the device goes on sale at Verizon wireless stores. The iPhone 4 first went on sale online last week for Verizon customers only, selling out in just a few hours. But there could be a few hitches. iLounge.com says antenna problems that dogged original iPhone users last summer on AT&T is actually worse on the Verizon phone. U.S. Airways is raising the fee to carry your extra heavy bags from $50 to $90. That's on top of the $25 to check a first bag and $35 for a second bag. Those fees aren't changing. Most airlines charge higher fees for luggage over 50 pounds. I guess it's best to try to carry on as much as you can these days. Back to you, Terry and Aditi.
Hey, thank you so much, Shartia. See you tomorrow. Good morning, Shartia.
Good morning, Aditi. Futures are a touch higher this morning. Wall Street is coming off a second straight positive week with the major indices all gaining more than 1%. Asian markets rose overnight, partly due to Egypt relief, and there are green arrows in Europe. Earnings have pretty much died down, so investors will likely focus on economic data this week as we get reports on retail sales, housing, inflation, unemployment filings, and the minutes from January's Fed meeting. The Dow rising 43 points Friday to 12,273. The Nasdaq up nearly 19 to 2809. Starbucks wants to serve you lattes one cup at a time. The chain plans to announce a product for the single-serve coffee market in the near future. Analysts have long expected Starbucks, which also sells via instant coffee packets, to move aggressively into the fast-growing single-cup brewing niche. The news comes as Starbucks ends its 10-year partnership with Kraft. It supplies discs for Kraft's Tassimo home brewing machine. Borders is on the brink of bankruptcy. Reports say the bookseller could file for Chapter 11 as early as today. The plan includes closing about a third of its nearly 700 Borders and Walden Book stores. Layoffs could number in the thousands. Borders has struggled to keep pace as customers turn to the internet for their books. I guess that's a sign of the times. Back to you, Terry and Aditi.
Yeah, definitely one of those casualties of Amazon. Thank you so much, Shartia.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Shartia.
Good morning, Aditi. Futures are lower as investors continue to monitor developments in Egypt. Oil prices are a touch higher today. NYMEX light sweet crude is trading above $87 a barrel. The dollar is higher as well against other currencies as investors see it as a safe haven investment if protests grow violent in Cairo. Stocks ended flat Thursday on Cisco's disappointing earnings, raising concerns about tech and business spending. Asia dropped overnight, but Europe is mixed. We get data today on the trade deficit and consumer sentiment. The Dow fell 10 points yesterday to 12,229. The Nasdaq rose a point to 2790. The Obama administration will unveil a long-awaited plan today for what could lead to the biggest changes to how Americans buy their homes in decades. The housing white paper lays out options for overhauling the housing finance system and reduce the government's role in the mortgage market. Reports say it backs a gradual wind down of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac by making loans they back more expensive. The FHA would be the sole mechanism for government-backed loans. Back to you, Aditi.
Thank you so much, Shartia. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, we'll see you Monday. Hey, good morning, Shartia.
Good morning, Aditi. Futures are a touch lower this morning. Stocks may come under a little pressure after FedEx cut its earnings forecast, citing disruptions from the winter storms in the U.S. and Europe and rising fuel costs. Wall Street ended mixed Monday as investors weigh President Obama's budget plan. Asian markets were higher overnight, but Europe is hugging the flat line this morning. We get data today on retail sales, import prices, business inventories, and home builder sentiment. The New York Stock Exchange is expected to formally announce its merger with Germany's Deutsche Börse before the opening bell. The Dow fell 5 points to 12,268. The Nasdaq rose 7 to 2817. Bargain shoppers beware. A new dress or suit may cost you more in coming months as the era of falling clothing prices is over. They've dropped over the past decade thanks to tame inflation and cheap overseas labor. But as the economy recovers and global demand for goods rises, a surge in raw material costs are squeezing retailers and manufacturers. Cotton prices have doubled in the past year, and synthetic fabrics are up 50%. Analysts think clothing prices could rise 10% in coming months. Brooks Brothers has already raised prices on its men's dress shirts, while Levi's, Wrangler, and Nike also plan increases. Terry and Aditi, back to you.
All right,
That's a downer.